Let's relax and get comfy. Let your imagination run free. Gather round, it's show time. It's Seaford Story Time.
Good morning, good afternoon, whichever one it may happen to be when you are completing this reading with Mrs. Lake. With that in mind, folks, I bring to you today the title of our book is called The Magpie's Nest, retold by Joanne Foster, illustrated by Julie Downing. Well, let's find out what happens in the magpie's nest. Once upon a time, in the spring of the world, the air was full of the sound of birds twittering, singing, chirping, and calling. Time to lay eggs, time to lay eggs. But if you listen closely, you could hear that the birds are also arguing. Where shall we put the eggs? Chirped the robin. Any old place, cried the gulls. Put them on the rocks or in the reeds. No, no, squawked the blue jay. My eggs are too precious for that. I need some kind of small, safe place. Yes, whistled the swans, a nest. A nest is what we want. Other birds picked that up. Nest, nest, we need nest, we need nest. But wait, said the robin. What is a nest? And how do you build one? All the birds fell silent. Then two black birds with bold white markings and long, iridescent tails circled up from a thorn tree. These were Mother and Father Magpie. Loudly they called, we can show you, we can show you. Watch us. We magpies know how to build a nest. The birds all flew to the thorn tree and eagerly gathered around the magpies. All that is, except the poor Will, who was nestled in the leaves on the ground. I'm so comfortable, she said to herself. I'm sure I can see enough from here. We start with mud, announced Father Magpie. He and Mother Magpie set off for a nearby river and returned with dabs of mud in their beaks. Back and forth they flew. Make it of mud, honked the flamingos. That's easy enough. Spreading her great wings and stretching her long legs out behind her, she flew away. To this day, flamingos make their nests only of mud. Dabs of mud, twittered the swallow. I see how it's done. And she too swooped off. Swallows are still building their nests with dabs of mud. Next, the magpies flew into the woods, calling back, sticks, sticks, you also need sticks for a nest. One by one, they brought back sticks and arranged them around the mud. That's it, decided the eagle. I'll make a nest of stout sticks and branches. And the eagle flew away, screaming, sticks, sticks, sticks. Sticks and twigs, sang the little house wren. Tiny, tiny sticks and twigs. I see how it's done. Flicking her tail, she flitted away in search of a cozy place to start her nest building. Wait, wait, called Mother Magpie. There is more to it. We're not finished. But by the time the flamingo and swallow, the eagle and wren were long gone. Now you must also weave in grasses and twigs, said Father Magpie. He and Mother Magpie began poking a twig in here and a blade of grass in there. So, the real secret of nest building is weaving, trilled the Oriole. I'm very good at that. As she flew away, she thought, I can do much better than the magpies. My nest will hang down from the branch rather than perching on top. By now, a number of the birds had left, but the cuckoo and the cowbird, who were always late, had just arrived. They crowded in to take a closer look and asked, What's going on? What is that? This is a nest, Father Magpie answered impatiently. We are showing you how to build a nest. It looks like a lot of work, complained the cuckoo. Mother Magpie arrived with some thistledown and began to line the nest. Father Magpie flew off and came back with a long hair from a horse's tail. And we'll soon have moss and string and paper and even the skin from a snake, he sang with delight. Horse hair is good, chirped the sparrows, and a flock of them rose in the air and left. Moss and perhaps some spider webs might be all I really need, mused the hummingbird, and this tiniest of the birds whirred away from the others. Watching them go, the cowbird said to the cuckoo, You know, I like to have my eggs in a nest like that, but I wouldn't want to do all that work. Maybe we don't have to do the work, the cuckoo said slyly. Why not just let the others do it? Why not, indeed, agreed the cowbird, and they flew away. To this day, cowbirds and cuckoos always sneak their eggs into the nest of other birds. The magpies were busier than ever. After lining the nest, they built a dome over it, woven of twigs and sticks and grasses. Finally, their nest was finished, but when they looked around for their audience, all the birds had gone. All except the whip-poor-will, nestled in the leaves on the ground. The magpies flew down beside her. Now do you see how a nest is built? Asked Father Magpie proudly. Thank you. It's lovely, replied the whip-poor-will. She did not want to seem ungrateful, but in fact, she had been asleep the whole time. As the magpies flew back to their nest, she sighed and said to herself, No matter, these leaves would make a pleasant nest. I will just hide my eggs here. This, then, is how it came about that no two kinds of birds make their nest in the same way. And that concludes the end of the magpie's nest.